Guys, Ryan Biddulph here. Really excited today. This impromptu hangout. You could tell it was really a last-minute deal because I just put a little bit of orange-flavored crest in my hair today. Wanted to switch it up. There you go. You can see it. Minty fresh breath / smell wasn't quite doing it for me today, so I had to go orange. But I'm really excited. How to find your writing voice after promoting it just for a few days, and yeah, I put my hustle on. It was more of a happy hustle. I have 27 5-star reviews on Amazon, which is pretty sweet, I have to say. So the people are digging it. So before we even hop into this hangout, it's going to be a little based on the ebook. Make sure you go to Amazon.com, query how to find your writing voice, and buy the book. Might be a free download. Now, by the time this gets on my blog, it's definitely not going to be a free download. But definitely pick it up, buy it. It's really ideal for folks who are struggling to find their voice, who just want to stand out from the crowd, who are terrified of being criticized, of being themselves, of putting toothpaste in their hair, of wearing New York Knicks t-shirts. And if you follow the NBA at all, and if you've been a long-suffering Knicks fan like me for many, many decades, still waiting for that title, you know what it's like. And that's it. No, this is not going to be a running advertisement. It's going to be me. Well, it might be a little bit because I'll keep telling you to buy the ebook. But I wanted to create this hangout, which is more for the purposes of being a video on my blog at bloggingfromparadise.com, because I know what it's like to feel terrified to write in your voice. And I mean your voice, because I am the most unfinished, unpolished, raw, uncut, yeah, that pretty much sums it up, author you're going to find, and blogger. And this is really directed towards bloggers, authors, anybody who's writing. I don't care if you're writing for your freaking diary. I am as unedited a writer as you'll ever find, but that's okay. Not only is it okay, that's how I'm supposed to be. That's my voice. Now, this is totally for folks who just want to be at peace, writing how they're intended to write, being themselves, writing how you speak to find your voice. For some folks, your voice will maybe be more formal, more prim and proper, more along the lines of an edited, let's say, highly polished work, and that's cool too. But for my readers and for me and for a bunch of folks who follow Blogging Paradise and a bunch of bloggers out there, they just want to be able to blog how they speak or write how they speak. That's scary, because you're going to have folks who are unclear and unhappy with their lives and who envy you for being genuine and authentic, who are going to not be too happy about that and maybe a little hypercritical. And of course, I've got that in the past. But I've found, too, the more clear I am on being me and having found my writing voice, I just get clearer and clearer, more focused and more direct. And I write more and more how I speak and how I am. It's my being. It's literally being a certain way, how you are, and just word vomiting that onto paper. However pretty it appears to folks, however ugly, it doesn't matter. It's just you. The point is, guys, the fear of criticism, the fear of failure, the fear of being skewered by critics for writing how you're being, for writing in your unique voice. Once you could dissolve that, and the ebook, of course, in this video, we'll call it video. It's a hangout, but it's video, all intents and purposes. I just like creating them because they upload instantaneously. For a 25-minute video, that works. Or 20 or 30, or whoever knows how long we'll be chatting for. When you knife through this fear, you will naturally shine brighter than most folks in your niche, because most folks are really burdened by that fear. It's almost like a heavy coat. It's almost like a coated. It's like a suit of chainmail they're carrying on themselves, and they're just so burdened and they can't move, and they're so, just, they can't get anywhere. They can't do anything. Their energy is just stifled. But when you dissolve that fear, and as you write in your voice, however raw, real, uncut, however it is, it's just authentic, it's fun, the energy will flow, you'll be enjoying the ride, you'll be trusting. When you do that, you're going to shine so bright that more and more folks in your blogging niche, in your ebook niche, in your paperback niche, they're going to have to find you. And of course, that means increased sales. Of course, that means you're going to free a lot more folks. You're going to inspire folks. You're going to help folks conquer their fears. You're going to solve problems. But the key is you're going to have to find your voice. And this is a very, in the beginning, super awkward process because almost every blogger and author that I know doesn't relish criticism. Some do, but some are full of it too. And that's okay, because I was kind of in the same boat. When you step outside of who you think you are into being who you really are, look out. You'll naturally write in your voice. When you step up to your laptop and you just start writing, it's going to be so easy. But I want to go over a few basic tips to help you cut through the fear of criticism, where you could just be you and write and find your voice and shine so brightly that people cannot help but to subscribe to your blog and sign up for your freelance services, whether it's blog coaching or freelance writing, or whether they buy your ebooks or buy your courses or whatever. But first, you got to find your voice. One thing to keep in mind too, it's always there. It's always been there. It's more like an onion where you're gonna rub your nose when you're doing a video and peel off layer after layer of limiting belief, of fear, of worry, of anxiety, all those energies that most folks wear like some folks proudly wear it, which is strange because they fit in. Everything's so polished and they pride themselves in being perfect. Yeah, okay. I've built my whole brand on being very imperfect, raw, and real, but I'm genuine. And that's the blessing of it all. When you're genuine and authentic and you're just being you, you don't have to practice. You don't have to slam through the day and work so hard and straight. Just be better. I'm all there is. You can't add to completeness. You're whole and complete. You're not incomplete. You don't need to improve. When you're being yourself, anybody who's not being themselves, naturally, the improvement, the pushing, the goals, and straining and striving, it's all a crock of shit. It really is. It's this whole idea that you need is silly. But when you focus heavily on this idea first of finding your writing voice and writing how you truly are and shining brightly and just feeling at peace and at ease and the energy flowing, it can be very uncomfortable. That's why I come into the picture. So how to find your writing voice? How do you shine so brightly that your niche needs to subscribe to your blog, or needs to buy your books, or really, more than anything, you're going to resonate with folks who just appreciate you for being authentic you, so you're going to be surrounded by love. And that's really probably the most fun aspect of finding your writing voice. You're going to be having fun yourself, but you're going to align with so many folks who are like, man, I love you for being you. Either I'm just like that, or maybe I'm not just like that, but it's just so refreshing, and you're going to inspire and empower and enable, and it's going to be beautiful. So number one, write. Write. Not because you need to, not because you have to, but because you have fun. Writing. And write about something that you could pound your hand into regularly when you talk about or even think about writing about it. And the reason why you want to write is because as you write and as you write and as you write and write some more and write some more, and for me, I have fun writing about blogging and traveling. So I created Blogging from Paradise. That's why I wrote and self-published 124 bite-sized ebooks, and why I published a bunch of posts on my blog at bloggingparadise.com. And it's why I wrote the book, How to Find Your Writing Voice, and why it's become pretty popular pretty quickly. I love what I'm doing, so I write. And when you love what you're doing, it's not even practice. You'll call it practice, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm practicing. I'm writing 1,000 words a day, or 500 words, or 2,000 words, or 10,000 words a day, whatever it is. The more you do that, it's not even so much you're going to be increasing your skills. Of course, you'll increase your writing skills. You set the precedent for setting the habit of writing. You'll just write and write and write and write. And yeah, your skills, you'll polish them, quote unquote, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I went a different direction. I don't even call it polish. It's just me becoming more of who I really am. That's what it is more than anything. When you write so regularly that it becomes habitual to you, when you sit there, you don't have to think. It just flows. Who you really are, you just being you, one special, one in billions and billions and billions of people who've ever walked the face of the earth, who've ever existed in these meat suits. You are special. You are unique. You are authentic. You are genuine. And when you share your story with the world by writing, and linking it into your niche, you're just going to stand out unbelievably, in an unbelievable way, if that's even a phrase. And the reason why is you're going to, just by writing and not forcing, but writing every day, writing half hour, writing an hour, writing 4 hours, writing 15 minutes, writing 25 minutes, writing. You're going to cut through all the self-conscious, monkey mind, ego-induced BS that reins you in. Like you'll go to an average blog and you'll be like, okay, the bloggers mean well, and God knows I've been there, guys. But you could tell after reading it for like 5 or 6 seconds that it's just been rehashed. It's what somebody told them advice-wise, and they're just sharing that with you. Maybe they'll refer you to the person, or maybe it will just be a third person, not diatribe, but just, I don't want to say a snooze fest, but we know, guys, it could get pretty boring sometimes because it's like, okay, I've just read that 458 million times during my career. I've been online for a while. I've read a few blog posts, and that's indicative, that type of writing, of someone who writes very little because they're being held back by their limiting beliefs. They just want to fit in. They haven't put in the time to get through the self-conscious BS that prevents you from writing in your voice. They're writing in somebody else's voice. They're writing to fit in. They're writing to just make a few bucks or to get a couple subscribers. If you go to bloggingfromparadise.com, you're going to read about how 2 Thai ladyboy whores taught me 5 distinct lessons about blogging in my voice. I could write that tale, and you could be like, wow, that was crazy. But it still wouldn't have that pop. Like the pop when the Katoe grabbed my arm. Save it for that. I actually wrote an ebook about that too, so pick that up. Last stuff. But when it's in my voice and I speak with the colorful tales and humor, and it's how I'd be if I were telling you the story person to person, one-on-one, or let's say a fireside chat if you want to bring a really vague, obscure reference from one of the Roosevelt presidents. Was it Teddy or Franklin Delano? I think it's FDR, right? The fireside chats. Whoever it was, there are gray hairs here, but I'm not that old. I'm 41. The thing is, dudes and dudettes, when you write religiously every day, whether it be for 10 minutes or 3 hours, or for 500 words or for 2,000, and write, your skills are going to improve. Yeah, but this is beyond skill work. This is finding your voice. What's going to happen is you're going to start writing more and more how you speak. So it'll be your voice. So when people read your blog, they're going to be like, I've never read a blog like that. Maybe something remotely similar, but the way this guy or gal writes, it just makes me want to come back because it's entertaining, it's funny, it's whatever along the lines. Maybe your blog is a little more serious, or it tackles a more, well, let's just say if it's maybe not as funny and light. And I just prefer that because, you know, if you're going to be here, you may as well laugh. That's my, well, I have a lot of different schools of thought. No, that's probably pretty much it. You may as well put toothpaste in your hair and stick it up, and it's going to get higher and higher. You guys ever seen Bob's Big Boy? My American buddies? Yeah. So anyway, if you are just being you, and then you're writing and publishing and shipping, putting out your blog posts and ebooks, bite-sized ebooks, longer ebooks, and whatever else, guest posts, comments, genuinely, authentically like-minded folks are going to gravitate towards you, or you're going to meet them. Actually, it's both going to happen. You're going to have people coming towards you. You're going to meet them, comment on their blogs. It's just an energy thing. It's like the true you coming out. So you'll really cut through so much of that self-conscious garbage and worry and the fear of criticism. What if somebody doesn't like? What if we're writing purists? Like I've said in chapters of the book, How to Find Your Writing Voice on Amazon, that you want to pick up. Writing purists purists, perfectionists, i.e. people that just pride themselves on trying to not really be who they are, because of course we know at our core, we're not pride, we're not all these ego states, we're just pure freedom and love, and just us, and we're unbound and unpolished, and we have so many people that just want that person to come out. They're the only folks that would have a problem with you writing how you're writing. And of course it's not about you, it's all about them. They're just jealous, envious, unhappy, and clear. It has nothing to do with you. And you could find a friggin' New York Times bestselling author come along and try to knock you down if you're just put your first book on Amazon, and it's still all about them. There's still some part in their appearance of success that's unclear or unhappy. So don't worry about that. Because the more you're just being you, some authors, yeah, maybe they'll really vibe with that more polished, more finished writer. But a lot of these guys, you know, when they see you being you and you're writing in your voice, your special story, you don't have to be an excellent writer. I'm not. I understand that. But I make people feel, and I have fun doing it. I make them feel inspired. I make them laugh. I make them look at me and say, shit, I could be like this guy and just talk about my life and my voice, and I'll be finished, and I could get a bunch of 5-star reviews and sell a bunch of books and make a living out of this and inspire a bunch of folks too. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not a great writer. Of course not. Because I've taken pride out of it, largely. Still a little monkey mind. Nah, of course I'm doing things for mine. But I've taken so much of that out of it, and I'm just at peace with feeling whole and complete and having fun doing what I'm doing and sharing my story in the way that only I can. And you do that from writing, because you write and you write and you write, and then you'll start some posts. The more you write with, you know, as you go along, instead of, you know, it's really important to build your blog on a rock solid foundation. You'll change it from that will be your writing 3 weeks ago or 2 months ago. That would be how you'd lead in a post. And then you'll lead in a post with, now of course this is for the travelers out there. Last week in the jungles of Buena Vista, a monkey almost urinated on me. This really happened. I almost got urinated on. The monkeys in the jungle in Buena Vista, deep in the jungle, 3 miles in the Caribbean side. They're so unaccustomed to seeing people. They threw sticks at us. One tried to urinate on me, which would have been so advantageous for my brand. Mono almost did it. Oh, wait a second, where was I? Oh yeah, leading in the post. I'm doing this free form now. A monkey almost urinated on me. When I pulled back in the muddy muck, I almost slipped and twisted my ankle. But since I had a solid foundation, both feet planted, shoulder width apart, paying attention to my posture, standing, I didn't fall into the mud, which would have caused so many more problems. So, if having a monkey almost urinate on me teaches me this blogging lesson, and you know what I mean. You know how I draw these parallels. It's looking at what's happened in your life and telling it in your own voice. So I could talk about, you know, that would have been a disaster, falling in the mud and then having a monkey urinate on me. I obviously wouldn't have been embarrassed. There was nobody there to see it. Even if there were people there, I would have told Kelly to snap a shot for me, because how cool would have that been? Talk about viral. I really would have owed that Capuchin monkey a solid. And strangely enough, the howler monkeys didn't do that. They were pretty comfortable. The Capuchins, though, they didn't like us. That shows you how remote the place is. Was slash is. It's still there. But I would draw a parallel into having the foundation, and it's like you just do that from writing, because you get through the stuff of, oh, people think it's weird, or where's the connection there? It's always there. Everything's always connected. It's just up for you to write enough to find it. So that's one. Write. I don't care. 2,000, 5,000 words a day, half hour, just write. Every great author writes. Number 2, edit later. And this is going to make purists, like I said in the book, vomit. But if you want to find your writing voice, just write stream of consciousness straight through. Don't you stop once, because every time you stop, you're breaking the flow. And anytime you break the flow, you go from being a brilliant genius coming out in your own way to being a schmo. Now, I did rhyme that on purpose, and that was drop the mic, in the moment, freestyle rapping. RBP Funk, Plainfield, New Jersey, reppin'. Okay. So, don't stop. And I just write. I never stop. I used to write my ebooks when I was in that stretch, when I was writing a 6,000, 7,000 word ebook every single day for 3 months in a row. I just wrote the book straight through. I never stopped. I'd edit later. And then even when I edit, I might miss things. That's okay. That's me. My readers love me. That's it. Your readers will love you when you're being you. And when you just write. Yeah, you can go back and edit. Of course you're going to edit it. But it's the idea of the more you stop to check, the more you just are looking to see, am I okay? Not even is this okay, but am I okay? Am I good enough? I have to improve that. It has to be better. And that blocks your writing voice. That makes it hide. You're looking to find it. It's really there. You don't have to find it. It's always there. When you stop after a page or a couple paragraphs and you reread it and you say, this is crap, you just stepped away from being the authentic you to being like a lot of other people. And you don't live the life that Kelly and I live. Why am I wearing black socks? I don't know. I've gotten this stretch here. But you don't live the type of life. You don't live in Fiji for 4 months. You don't live in Bali for 6 months or a year overall. You don't live in Thailand for over a year. You don't live in Costa Rica. You don't appear on Forbes and Virgin. You don't speak about blogging at NYU. Like, all these things I've been blessed to experience, but the blessings flowed in when I was being, because I was being me. And you don't live this life by fitting in. Like, I can't stress that enough. And it's so tough because when you're writing, everything's going to say, just, I got to edit and it's got to be perfect. And I just want to be better and I want to be better. Frick that, man. Purists, writing purists, critics, they may vomit at your writing, at you finding your writing voice, because it's not within their monkey mind box of how a writer should write. Remember, I was talking to someone we stay with in Costa Rica, in Rivas, Anita, at the Mango Loft. Awesome spot in Rivas. If you're going to Central Costa Rica, to Rio Chiripo, Mount Chiripo, you're doing the hike, stop by Anita's. Stay there. Check on Airbnb. And she was talking about, I'm really not a good writer. She had released a book. I love the title. And she was like, I'm really not a good writer. I'm like, me neither. And she just looked at me and laughed. I'm like, I'm not. But I let it go. I write every day. I have fun. It's just me. My readers love it. New readers love it. They promote it because they see the inspiration in you being you, and that, you could be off the cuff and authentic and raw and real and unpolished and kick ass. And number two, because number one, writing a bunch, but number two, how to find your writing voice. You're not going to edit. You're going to write all the way through, finish your blog post, finish your book, and then you go back and edit after a few hours or a few days. And depending on the length of the ebook or even the length of the blog post, it's a real pillar. You're going to take a little bit, let it, digest. But don't pull out the red pen if you want to be Zen writer. Don't pull out the red pen if you want to be Zen. I'm trying now, and it's okay. The problem is, every time you stop to check, you are drowning out your voice. You can go back later and edit it. No problem. But you break the flow. And all this magic happens from being in flow. When it becomes effortless, when it's fun. Because at that point, it's the authentic you, the universe speaking through you. You're almost a conduit. You're just a meat suit masquerading as an author in the moment. Just a room. You're stepping in and out of rooms. This can go in a whole existential direction. You could talk travel. You could talk existentialism. Is it even is it woo-woo? Frick that. It's just who we really are. Who you really are shines through. You'll write. So that's number two. I'll be here all day, man. I got to eat oatmeal. By the time this goes live, who knows what we'll be. But at least as of this recording, Kelly and I have an awesome 2-week house sit in Manhattan. Oh, what a fun spot. So I got to get ready for that. Number three, you want to be really phenomenal writer in that you write. You found your voice. You write how only you could write, however it is, unpolished, unfinished, but be damn popular. Make some coin too. Read. Ooh, let me see here. What do we got? Oh, I have it right here. Referencing the book. Read saucy bloggers or authors. Now, by saucy, I mean, folks like Lee Child or George R.R. Martin. And in their own way, they're saucy. They're not sassy, but their works are just colorful, and those are my suggestions. Everybody has their own opinions, but for me, they're two of my favorites and two of my inspirations. Maybe they'll resonate with you. They're saucy in that when you read each of those authors, especially George R.R. Martin, but Lee Child as well, he does the Jack Reacher series. First George R.R. Martin, Song of Ice and Fire. Oh, no, I definitely have to move it along. Kelly's vacuuming. But the thing is, guys, when you read those authors, what's going to happen is you will absolutely fall in love with their energy, and more so than that, especially George R.R. Martin, you step into his world. You're not reading a book. You're actually sitting in the room, barely imagining what's going on. You'll just be focusing heavily on the story itself, the color, the details, the vividness of it. And in essence, that's them being them. You can't write like that unless you write a ton, and unless you just let it flow, and unless you're being you, unless they're writing in their voice. That's how you become world famous. Nobody else writes like either one of these guys. They're similar. They're similar authors. Of course, you could say, yeah, they remind me of that. But it's like Lee Child is Lee Child. He's writing in his voice. George R.R. Martin is George R.R. Martin, writing in his voice. And there's nobody specifically like either one of those guys. Nobody comes close. I mean, there's other ones, and I don't mean good, bad. It's not a matter of ranking. It's just that, hey, when I pick up a Lee Child book after the first friggin' 2 paragraphs, I'm like, you know, not just because it says Jack Reacher. He doesn't have to say that. If I could read it without knowing the author, I'd be like, that's Lee Child. Did it with George R.R. Martin. When you read these saucy authors who are just colorful and just let loose and go with the flow and create something that's just epic, you gain that same inspiration to write how you're intended to write. And it's probably not going to be like them at all. And it doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be just so edited and streamlined. It doesn't have to be like that. It's just how you're intended to write. Guys, you could make such a phenomenal living and live such a brilliant life by being totally unpolished, unedited, raw. It's not about finish. It's not about something that's academically acceptable. Passive voice and active voice. And people will tell you that. Let them talk to me about. Just ask them how many months they've spent in Fiji and in Bali. Ask them if they've traveled the world for 5 years. It's not about that, guys. Successful writing, tweet this, quote unquote, successful writing is writing in your voice, no matter how that voice flows, no matter how the words sound when you read them, so that you inspire people to live their dreams, solve their problems, free themselves, and have a shitload of fun. And take out shitload on Twitter, because I know it's pot email. You probably can't tweet that. That's it's well over 140 characters. But successful writing ultimately is when you're having fun. You're writing something in a blog or on a blog or in an ebook or whatever, and it inspires people to live their dreams. And there's nothing to do with polish and editing and finishing heavily. Yeah, you're going to edit. Yeah, you're going to write. But the more your voice just comes out, you're not going to have to do all this stuff. It's not going to be this tension and this stress-filled process. You're just going to step into your voice, step into yourself, be and write something just so inspired and so amazing that you're going to goad people. You're going to force people, without even trying, to download, to share, to read, to give it 5-star reviews, and to spread the word for you. It's more or less you being so happy in the moment and having so much fun and being so trusting that you're just being you, and that's who you're meant to be, that everything else happens so effortlessly, including the writing, the sharing, the connecting with, you connecting, reaching out to others who are similar, other folks coming in, you drawing them like a magnet, and then it's just like you live your dream, you have fun, they live their dreams, they have fun, and it's just your presence just grows. Guys, that's it for today. Like I said, pick up that ebook, How to Find Your Writing Voice. Query that on Amazon. As of this recording in the early April, 27 5-star reviews, and it's really going up and away. And I really feel grateful for it too, that so many people are reading it, because I know so many folks out there, even folks who've had success, they really struggle. And I can just tell from their writing. It's good and it's authentic, but it lacks that energy that screams like, this is just how I am online and offline, and it's out and it's raw and it's uncut. A lot of folks really are afraid. They're holding back. And I'm the type of guy, I don't hold back at all. And it's not in your face or anything like that. It's fun. It's colorful. It's just my style is me. And every single person in the world can say right now, nobody can hold a candle to me. Not because I'm better or not because they're worse, but because I'm just being me. And just like no two snowflakes are alike, no two people are alike, no two bloggers, no two authors, no two self-published authors, no two published authors. And this book will help you cut through those struggles, the self-conscious limiting beliefs, the fear of being criticized, the fear of being critiqued, of failing, all this stuff, so you can just be you and be happy with your writing, have fun with it, and then, of course, to live your dreams. You could develop a full-time income just from selling Amazon ebooks alone, from blogging, from whatever it is that you're doing writing-wise, just by finding your voice. And these are 3 tips, but I really delved more deeply in the book itself. So share that book on all your social networks. Send it out to your email list. Tweet it. Share it on Facebook, G+, Pinterest. It's going to help you get through all this stuff that new bloggers, intermediate bloggers, and struggling professional veteran bloggers, because there's a lot of pro bloggers out there, a lot of vets that are really struggling to find their voice. They just want to fit in subconsciously. There's that little thing in them like, man, I'd love to do that. I'd love to write like that guy. I'm trying so hard. And this book will give you a framework, and it's bite-sized. It's really helpful. You go over it again, you go over it again. You expose yourself to the materials again to be able to write in a way that you'll be able to be yourself. You'll feel authentic. It'll be so much fun. You'll feel so much more detached from it, and you'll find that your business will grow, whether it's your consulting or your blogging course that you're selling, or whatever course it is, products or ebooks, of course, or whatever it is that you're out there hawking your wares. Your list will grow, more shares, and more than anything, you're going to free and inspire a lot more folks. So guys, that's it for today. Share this video on all your social networks, send it to your list, and of course that ebook, How to Find Your Writing Voice. It's on Amazon. Query it. It's a Blogging from Paradise ebook, like all 143. I lost count. Shoot. I think it's 143. I have a nice cover of me sitting in standing, selfie style. Beautiful Phuket, Thailand, in Rawai Bay, one of my favorite spots on the island. You could see the long-tail boats over my shoulder, the crystal blue water, the palm trees. You have coconut trees in the background, and I even put on the cover just to let them know, because it's Blogging from Paradise style. It's authentic. Nobody else in the world does that. Picture in the background, little Blogging Paradise icon, brandedness. People love it, guys. That's it for today. Share that again, the book, with all your friends, and of course, pick it up. Buy it. Buy the book. Download it. Read, and share it with everybody. I really appreciate your support, guys. Let's empower each other on this wonderful journey called life. It's where we're writing in our authentic voice, and we're cutting through all that struggle and self-conscious stuff and just feeling bound. We're going to cut through it. Love you so much. Until next time, enjoy paradise.